Hi, everybody. Welcome to our counter conversation. I know people are just getting into the call, so we'll give everybody just a little bit before we get started. So come on in and get settled, because today's going to be a good one. And if you have questions for today's call, go ahead and put those in the chat and we will get to those at the end. But we'll go ahead and get started. Hi, everybody. Gina Murphy, Chief Field Development Officer at Beautycounter. Thank you so much for joining the call today. We've got a great call today. I am so excited to be joined by Managing Director Linda Hope, and you're going to hear all about her and her story in just a little bit. But to begin, for those of you that maybe are new to Beautycounter or don't know as much about us, I just wanted to give you a brief little overview before I get into our discussion today. So Beautycounter, we are a company that is dedicated to safety, and that really is at the core of who we are. So yes, we are a skincare and cosmetic company. We are a California-based company, but our mission of getting safer products into the hands of everyone really is at the core of who we are and has been at the core since day one. And I can tell you that, our founder and CEO, Greg Renfrew, started Beautycounter because she had this idea. She had received some information that told her that our bodies were being exposed to various toxic chemicals throughout the day, in the air we were breathing, in the water we were drinking, in the, off-gassing when we got into our car and our leather seats. And with this information, she started to do some research and she started to clean up her routine, if you will. And that meant that she started to change out pots and pans in her home and her mattresses, cleaning products. Cleaning products can have some really awful ingredients. So she started reading her labels there as well. And of course, this was all before seventh generation, who has changed our life, thank goodness. But when she got to the personal care products that she was using, what she learned really just blew her mind. And that is that there hasn't been a federal law passed in the United States since 1938 governing the personal care industry. And in fact, the piece of legislation that does exist is about a page and a half. And it really allows cosmetic companies to self-regulate. And I know sometimes this can seem a little, it did for me the first time I heard it, a little mind-blowing, because I think we equate the FDA and what they do in monitoring and labeling and regulating food, we kind of put it over here with personal care products, but the FDA actually has no teeth. They have no jurisdiction over personal care products. So it really is like the Wild West out there. And, when Greg found that out, she just couldn't believe it. And so she had this idea to create a company that not only created safer products, but also educated people around this issue. And thirdly, advocated for real change. And we are so incredibly proud of that. And that's the way it's been since day one, that equal emphasis around how we formulate, how we educate, and how we advocate. That really is fundamental to who Beautycounter is. And so, for us, it's all about making sure people understand what the issue is. We've got products and they're a great solution to the issue, but making sure people have information, because armed with information, people can make great buying decisions for their people that they care about. So from day one, we have been a B corporation, which means we place equal emphasis on people, planet, and profits. We have been that company who not only is committed to making safe goop that you put on your body, but also every piece of the supply chain. And I'm so proud. We've gotten so much smarter through the years. And really now it's every piece of the supply chain is looked at, from the way that we source the products to the way that we harvest them, to how we leave the earth behind, to the people that are picking the product or transporting the product, to the carbon footprint that we're placing on the earth, to the receptacles we're putting it in, and to how we're shipping it, the cartons we're putting it in. I mean, it really is a laborious process, but it is when you put your foot out there and you say, we are the unequivocal leaders in clean, you have to do that. And again, so monumentally proud of that fact. One of the things that Beautycounter is known for is our Never List. We are the company that created it. Many companies have come along and adapted the Never List to their company, which we think is amazing. But at Beautycounter, we banned or restrict over 1,800 ingredients. So when we go to formulation, we throw 1,800 away and then we start. The EU bans 1,400. Canada 600, and the US a little over 30. So you can see that's why we need new legislation. And I'm so excited because, our advocacy efforts, they're not only on a national basis, they're on a localized basis. And there was some really exciting news just a couple days ago in California. Beautycounter was instrumental in helping tie up the fragrance loophole, because fragrance is one of those terms that you see on products. And when you see the word fragrance, it's really a bunch of different ingredients can be in that fragrance. It's a trade secret, so they don't have to disclose it. And that's where a lot of harmful chemicals are put in that fragrance. And so, state legislation leads to national legislation, and hopefully crossing borders and all of that. So we're really, really proud of our work on a local level and on a national level. Our products run the gamut. We have everything from skin. We started with 9 products, and we have skin, baby, kids, face, makeup, men's line, sun line. And our goal is that when you walk into your bathroom, you have safer choices, and we hope those are Beautycounter. So if you've not tried a Beautycounter product, check them out. They're online. We've got some new lip glosses and sheers that are absolutely amazing. And very, very soon we will be launching our holiday line, but not quite yet, because I don't think anybody wants to be thinking about that yet, because we're in September and the sun is still out and it's still warm. So anyway, the way that we distribute our products, we are a direct retail brand, which means that we distribute our products on our website. You can go directly to beautycounter.com and you can purchase. You can go to one of our pop-ups, and right now we have 3 on Nantucket here in Massachusetts, in Denver at the Milk Market, in New York City and Soho, and then very soon in Venice, California. It's going to be our flagship store. And the pop-ups are great because you can go in and you can get immersed in the brand and learn a little bit more about Beautycounter. And we really do love these small little footprints that we have to make more people aware of the education we're doing. But probably the most exciting way to become affiliated with Beautycounter, and the way that Greg wanted to start this company, was through people. She believed that our story was best told person to person. And so she went on this journey to find a group of really dedicated, passionate people to help educate and tell her story, and the story of Safer Beauty. And that is our group of consultants, our Beautycounter consultants, of which we have over 60,000, and they are phenomenal individuals. They represent every walk of life. They come from all over. We have them in the US and Canada today, plans to expand. We actually have people in military bases all around the world, which is kind of cool as well. And we know we have fans in all parts of the world. But our consultants are amazing, amazing individuals. They are all independent entrepreneurs that have joined Beautycounter for a myriad of reasons. But really what binds us together is this commitment to safety, this commitment to doing better by the world. And they're growing exceptional businesses, and they get to do it on their terms. They get to do it on their schedule, around their life, and they really get to create a business to fit whatever they need. And so different than traditional 9 to 5 jobs is they set all the rules. They set the standards, they set the hours, who they want to work with, how big they want to grow. And it's a pretty amazing network of individuals. And I am so excited because today I am joined by one of our, I will say pioneers, because almost from the very beginning, Linda Hope has been with us, and she really is a force. And I have goosebumps, Linda. I just said your name and I get goosebumps because you really are. You've been such an integral part of growing our company. And we could never, ever have the growth that we're experiencing if it were not for people like yourself. So welcome to Linda Hope, Managing Director, which is we're going to talk about it. It's the top level in our compensation plan. But we're so glad to have you on the call today. Welcome.
Thank you, Gina. I am so happy to be here today. I've been looking forward to our chat all week long. Thank you so much for this invitation. It really means a lot. And my hope today is for many to leave this conversation with an unshakable belief that they can be successful at whatever they decide to do, because that's what my journey has been about. It's truly an example of what's possible when you simply decide.
Absolutely. See, we're already off to a great start. That was beautiful. Okay, so before we get into your Beautycounter story, tell everybody a little bit about yourself, your background, family, passions, projects, all of that good stuff.
Yes, I would love to. So hello, world. I am Linda Hope. I currently live in Franklin, Tennessee, which is very close to Nashville, but I was born in Miami, Florida. I am the daughter of 2 immigrants from the Dominican Republic that decided to come to the United States for access to a better life. My parents, they were indeed dreamers. I get a lot of my traits and my dreams from them. My mom, who I lost at the age of 10, was this fierce, protective Dominicana who you could find in the kitchen early in the morning, cooking the best scrambled eggs in the world, all made up with her 4-inch heels. And by night, you can find her, organizing packages of clothing, shoes, and handbags to send back to her country to provide her community with access to the latest fashion from South Florida. And then you have my courageous and resilient father, who is my superhero and role model. He has worked so hard and has overcome so much in this world. He started his path here in the United States at a milk factory and worked for several years, worked hard to save enough money to open up the very first and oldest Dominican restaurant in Miami, Florida, called Club Típico Dominicano. And this was because in his community, he noticed that they didn't have a place to socially come together with pride and celebrate their heritage. So he saw that there was a need, he wanted to serve his community, and he had this vision and executed. So as you can see, my parents, they really gave me the opportunity to witness the great ways in which I can contribute to my community through entrepreneurship. So I've always known that it was going to, I had to work for myself in order to provide and accomplish my dream in giving back to my community in a way that I can be extremely proud of. Um, and now with two little ones, I have two kids, Chrislyn and Christopher. Christopher just started kindergarten. So to all of my kindergarten moms out there, I'm with you, sister. It was a hard one, although I am happy that they're back in school, but he's the little one from the house and he just, started kindergarten. I'm married to my college sweetheart, Chris Hope, who is a Super Bowl champion and Pro Bowler. I get a lot of my champion mindset from him. So, I have all of these people in my life that really look up to me and are counting on me. And so this need to leave a legacy and contribute back to my community in a way that that makes me happy really has increased that much more. Let's talk about my passions. I am extremely passionate about giving back. I recently established the Motherless Queens Endowed Scholarship Fund, thanks to my Beautycounter business, which will provide scholarships to women that have lost their moms and are attending a HBCU. I love beauty. I love getting dolled up. I'm passionate about self-care and self-love. I'm an 8 on the Enneagram, so this job is very fitting because we're challenging the beauty industry. I love music. Beyonce's my favorite. I don't know. Overall, I love love. I love having a great time. And most importantly, I love pushing others to tap into their greatest potential.
Ah, I love it, all of it. And I love the scholarship that you set up for your mom. How fitting, how beautiful. That is amazing.
Yeah.
And I when you were growing up, and I can't imagine without your mom, and looking for other people to support you, and is so critically important at those young ages, right? Because you need that fostering and that mentoring.
Absolutely. That's why community is so important to me, because quite frankly, community raised me, community inspired me, community helped me create this vision that I have for myself. And so with everything that community has given to me, I feel it is my duty to now give back in the way that I have been able to by way of my Beautycounter business.
Well, it's a beautiful way to live, for sure. And I know your parents are super proud of you. Okay, so you joined Beautycounter in 2015. We launched in 2013. Wow, that was the beginning, Linda. How did you, if I know this, I can't remember. How did you hear about us? Like, what was it?
I know. So I heard about Beautycounter from my good friend, Sharita. I still remember the day I dropped her off after a workout class and noticed this cute black Beautycounter tote filled with products at her front door. I love products. I'm a product junkie. She would probably say that I'm a product snob, but it's okay. However you want to put it. I just love products. I love taking care of my skin. And so a couple of months after that day, she invited me to her launch event, which I almost bailed on. And I'm so thankful today that I did not, because we wouldn't be having this conversation today. My life wouldn't be what it be. I would not be this woman that you see sitting here. So I'm extremely grateful for that invitation and for all the friends that really encouraged me to go when I wanted to bail. But that day was life-changing for me. I left that pop-up on fire. I couldn't believe everything I had learned about the industry. I felt so deceived and betrayed. It was just disappointing to learn that the industry I had fallen in love with as a teenager was keeping these horrible secrets that can possibly harm me, my family, my daughter. And that night I stayed up till 4 a.m. researching everything I had learned because I couldn't believe it. And the more I learned, the angrier I got. Mm-hmm. And that passion just started brewing. My son, Christopher, he was 3 months at the time. And I vividly remember at his bath time that next morning, looking at his baby wash and finding 3 ingredients from our never list. And I was just livid. I looked through my counters. I looked over my husband's product. I mean, we threw everything out. And while I know that for some, that may not be possible, I am extremely extra. I'm one of those people that once I learn something, it's hard to unlearn what you know. And that was the beginning of this journey. That later on that month, I actually called Sharita, and she had no idea that behind the scenes I was doing all of this, and that I would even consider lending my voice to a movement as powerful as this one. But I called her and I said, listen, I'm going to join you, and we are going to travel all across the world sharing this mission, telling people about clean beauty, because if there are women out there like me that don't know this information, they absolutely deserve to have it. And the rest is history.
Well, I always like to say, I love stories like this. It doesn't always happen like this, that people, but you catch on fire, you get a little bit of information, and then you can't unlearn what you learn, right? You start to like go down that rabbit hole. And I was the same way. I mean, to the point where I would be standing at Target, like slapping products out of people's hands. Like, you really don't want to put that on your baby. Like, I did it. You don't want to do that. And, your kid's like running to the next aisle, but
Right.
it comes from a good place, right? It comes from a place of caring because, and I remember back in the day, Mia Davis, who used to work with us, said, don't get mad at yourself. Those bad decisions were made long before you picked up the bottle of whatever, right? But now you know.
Yeah.
So now it's our mission to tell one person at a time. So it was the product first and the business second. The business came after.
Absolutely. I loved Counter Time then. That was my first introduction into the products. And I mean, Counter Time then was fabulous. Counter Time now is like a whole new level up type of glowness. I'm obsessed with all of our products. And oftentimes, I get clients that ask, what's your favorite product? And I always say, as much as I love the personal care products that we offer, my absolute favorite has been the business opportunity, because it is through this opportunity that I've been able to make the greatest impact personally and within the community that I serve.
Totally. All right, I want to talk about that in a minute, but let's stay on your background, because I think this is important and I think people need more education. So, as a proud Dominicana, did I say that right?
Yes.
From Miami,
Yes.
You and I both know that the message specifically for members of our BIPOC community is so important, that because the toxic load that you all carry because of the products, and because I think, what is it, less than 25% of products for people of color are rated safe by the EWG. When you learned that, how did that make you feel?
I mean, so it goes back to that feeling of betrayal that I felt. And the more and more I researched and learned how we are disproportionately exposed at a higher rate to these toxic chemicals, I felt like it was my duty to share this information. I also noticed the lack of representation within our community of consultants at the time, and believed that those in my community were not getting this information. You said it earlier. We believe that our story is best told persons to person. And we also know that we usually share this information with our families and loved ones. So, and not seeing others that looked like me, it immediately sent that signal that, wow, we have work to do within our community. We need more voices so that we can make sure that our people are getting this information. I know that as women, we love to look good and we love to feel good, but when I looked at research, I also saw that as consumers, Black women spend at a higher rate when they're shopping for beauty products. And I also learned that those products that they're shopping for, like you said, 25% of these products marketed to us are not even safe, or they lie in that safe category. So that means that over 75% of the products that we're seeing these ads for every single day are filled with ingredients that when you look at the health issues, many of us lie at the top of those charts. So I just felt like it was a way for me to give back in a way that I had never given back before. And so I decided to use my platform in order to be a part of the change and to leave this legacy that I know one day my kids and my family and future generations would be very, very proud of.
100%. Because it is a curve you can correct, right? It is, you know, we're never going to eliminate every exposure, but by making better choices, we can bring that curve way, way down. And, you know, it's unfortunate that, you know, I always say there's so much clever marketing out there, and, you know, people sometimes equate price with, oh, well, it's got to be safe if it costs this much, or if it's, you know, packaged and it says natural, right? Oh, me too.
Very guilty of that. I felt like the higher it was, the better it was, and the safer, better quality. And that was so far from the truth. In fact, when I first learned of the Never List and went through my beauty products, there were a few returns that I had to make that I didn't feel ashamed of. I mean, I just did not feel like those brands deserved my hard-earned money if they weren't doing what was best in the interests of my health and those that look like me. So I can totally relate to that.
And I think that I love the way we go about it too. It's not by making any other company feel bad or wrong. It's about educating and challenging other companies to do the right things. Because I often love to say, you know, there are companies that formulate outside of the US, right? They formulate in the EU and they take all the bad stuff out because they have to. And then they come back to the US and they put it all back in because they're allowed to. And that's the piece that always would get to me, right? It's like, they know how to do this. They're just choosing not to, right? Those are the companies we want to hold accountable.
Absolutely. Oh,
Yeah.
that just,
I know.
makes
I
me
know.
so bad.
I tell you what, you know, we travel to Europe and you read the labels and you're like, and you have your US product versus the European one, and you're like, ooh, this is really different.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, all right. So let's talk a little bit about your career as a leader in our organization and the team that you've built. Because for those that don't know, managing director is the top. It is the top title in the company. That means that Linda's organization, her team, does at minimum 100,000 in team volume every month. Every month the clock starts over. And I know sometimes that's on the first of the month, it's like, oh, we got to start over. But that's huge. And talk to me a little bit about your team. How many now are in your organization?
Oh my gosh. Okay, so my smile just got bigger because these women and men really just give me life. Shout out to Counter Excellence right now. Our team currently is made up of 535 men and women. I know,
Amazing.
just saying that really gives me goosebumps. I'm so proud of the work that we're doing. They are some of the best and brightest. On average, I mean, in the last, I'd say 3 to 4 months, we've consistently put over $200,000 worth of clean and safer products into our communities. And the way these women have transformed, and men have transformed my life and just added to me in so many different ways, I will forever be grateful. We are a sisterhood and brotherhood. The friendships that we've been able to develop have been amazing. I really enjoy seeing my team members tap into their courage in ways that they have never imagined. The wins that we've had, it's just been amazing. And we actually just welcomed our very first managing director. So in addition to me, we have a brand new managing director. And from the very beginning, our vision has been to elevate more people of color within the consultant community, just because we understand that there is a need for that, and representation matters. So I'm just proud that we're able to make that.
Awesome. It's awesome. And what I love about it too, in the way that we operate, is it doesn't matter that you guys have the same title. In fact, you want more people to have the same title as you, right?
I have a goal of 12 managing directors. So I got to get to work.
That's a beautiful goal. And what's great is that, we always say their success is your success.
Absolutely.
So what is the best part about, because you didn't know all 500 and plus people. So what's been the best part about leading this team? And I know I saw a question that came through, and how did you do it? How did you start? Because everybody starts the same way. You buy an enrollment kit. There's no guarantee, right? And you get some products and then you start sharing. But tell everybody a little bit about your journey to where you are today.
I started my business July 1st of 2015. And I remember printing off the compensation plan and immediately circling managing director. Mm-hmm. I didn't know what entailed getting there. I just knew that if I was going to do this, I was going to do it all the way. I also recognized that in getting to managing director, I had the opportunity of reaching more people, and that was the goal. I wanted to be a resource for my community and wanted to invite others to join me in doing that. Mm-hmm. So I set my vision. My vision was very clear. It was unwavering. There were times where distractions came up, but I was so focused on this goal that no matter what happened, I just never lost sight of that. So vision is very important. I was also very consistent from day one. I can't even tell you that I ever took my foot off the gas. You hear stories where people will admit that they didn't fully give it everything they had. And from day one, I did. And to this day, I still do. So consistency is very important. I believed in what Beautycounter had to offer. I believed in our mission. I believed in the impact that we were making. And so I allowed that belief to really drive me and to help me overcome the no's that came. I mean, it was a part of the process. I once heard Will Smith say that you have to chase failure because failure is where the lessons are. And that was really the mindset that I had. No matter the no's, I know that my yes is on the other side of that. And so that pursuit of failure was part of my engine. I was able to promote to director in my first 90 days of joining Beautycounter. I promoted to senior director in my first 6 months. and then went on to promote to executive director in my first 8 months, which that month I also earned my first Beautycounter incentive trip to Washington, D.C., which it nailed it for me in terms of, okay, this is where I need to be. This is where I have to be. And I'm finally in a place where I can walk in my purpose. And so it took a lot of work, but it was fun. And I enjoyed myself every step of the way. If I had to do it all over again, I would do it. With everything that came with it, I certainly would do it.
Well, that is a wonderful testimony. And I have to say, yeah, I hear you. You know, the work is not always glamorous. It's hard, but it is so worthwhile. And I love what you said, vision, consistency, and not fearing failure, because, you know, that is sometimes, and for those people that maybe are listening today, the number one thing someone says to themselves when someone asks them to do this business with them is, oh, I wouldn't be good at that. That failure automatically comes in, that fear of failure automatically comes in. And the beautiful thing about this business is, like you said, you know, you get lots of opportunities to be great, right? You're not great every day, but you get lots of opportunities to do it, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I had a text message today. So we had for everybody who didn't know, we had our training conference yesterday, which was awesome. And I'm going to say old, but I don't mean it that way. A past consultant who was with us in the beginning and then decided that life was, you know, she had other things going on. She texted me and asked, she goes, can I still come back? I'm like, our door is always open. Of course.
Always open.
Of course you can. She had heard about or she had seen all the posts and everything, all the community on that, you know, from yesterday. So, well, what advice would you give to someone who's looking at Beautycounter and, you know, maybe they are saying to themselves, I don't know, Linda, you're a force to be reckoned with. I don't know if I can do this. What would you say?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I often say, you know, what other company is making the type of impact on the world that we're making, looking as good as we look, with the level of transparency and integrity that we're doing it with. And the fact that you are thinking about it, like just a little bit, this curiosity that you have, you know, you calling into this call really tells me that you've already decided on Beautycounter and you've said yes to the opportunity. You know Beautycounter works. You know it's the best opportunity available right now. So today I'm going to ask you to say yes to yourself, because really that's what you say yes to when you finally decide to pull the trigger and start your business. Oftentimes we think about failure, as you mentioned, in a way that forces us to see all the things that we can possibly lose when making a decision, instead of seeing what we can gain. And while today I am here very confident talking about all of the successes that I've had, I can assure you that this woman you see here today was not the same person 5 years ago. I was very shy. I had a hard time opening myself up and becoming uncomfortable. Now it's like something I look forward to doing. But this community will really transform you, and everything that you think you can potentially be, with the men and women here, we can assure you that we will encourage you and push you to be that very, very best version of yourself that you deep down inside know that you can be. So I'm just going to say, join us. We need you. Our community needs you. Your community needs you. And just say yes to yourself.
I'm so glad you said that, because I think sometimes people look at the tangible things about what a business like this can do, right? The financial, and that is there for sure. The trips, the rewards, all of that. but it's the intangible, that sense of self, that sense of accomplishment, that community. Those are the things that, you know, anytime, and I've been doing this a long, long time, anytime anybody says anything about this type of business, I'm always like, you're so misinformed. You don't realize the amazing men and women that join this type of organization because they are attracted to that sense of community, and they want that to help each other. And we need more of that in this world. Let's just put it that way. We need more of that. Maybe those, you know, companies out there could take a thing or two from us, right? And how we're growing. Okay, so it's September the 3rd. Why is today the best time to do it? What's coming? What was like so exciting about it?
Okay. If you ask any consultant that has ever launched their business with Beautycounter what their biggest regret is, I bet they'll say that their regret was not launching their business sooner. And you will hear it across the board from everybody. So there is no moment like the present, especially in this present moment of time when we're heading into holiday season. And your loved ones will be looking forward to shopping and sharing their love by way of gifts. So to be in position to offer them the gift of clean beauty, you're setting yourself up for success. We got a sneak peek of our holiday collection yesterday, which is amazing. It will definitely blow everyone's socks off. It does every single year. And just when I think that we can't get better with holiday, I mean,
I know.
I can't wait. And we have pre-sale starting soon. So if you are a consultant, then you get access to these amazing holiday sets sooner than when the public will have access to them. So that's definitely one reason. But in joining now, it gives you the opportunity of having a soft launch, right? Where you get familiar with the resources, you learn the products, you purchase your products at a great rate. And then in October, when it's time to get into action and start offering our holiday gift sets, you're ready. You're ready to take advantage of this super high selling holiday season.
Absolutely.
All that it has to offer you.
Perfectly stated. It is. It really is one of the best times to join. I'm so glad you talked about pre-sale. That's next week. So you can get in and get those products and really just hit the ground running. And you've got, you know, a support system around you to help you be successful, because this is a business of people helping people for sure. And you don't even have to be on the same team. We work across the entire organization. So Linda, I could literally go on for an hour, and I miss you. I miss seeing you. I remember the first time we met, and I knew, just because when you walk in a room, you have such a beautiful aura, a beautiful presence about you, and people coming up to me and telling me about you and what a incredible person you are, and unsolicited, and that speaks volumes. So, but I know there were some questions, so I want to give people a chance to do that. So
get on, talk to me, family.
Yeah.
Thanks so much, Gina and Linda. There is a ton of love in the chat. A lot of people emphasizing how great you are to the community, not just on your team, but from other teams. So that's really cool. We had a few questions come in. What is the best way you approach offering the business opportunity to others?
So I love the business opportunity, and every chance I get to offer it, I take it. So if it's a client and I believe that this opportunity will serve them in a great way, I just simply ask them, hey, have you ever considered doing what I do? It's a simple question. And usually they'll say yes, or they'll say no. And when I get the yes, I'll say, hey, let's set up some time to chat. I'd love to tell you more. I always shoot for having that conversation. It's easy to send an email. It's easy to send a video. But I love to have that conversation because in that moment, I'll learn more about how Beautycounter can best serve them, how Beautycounter can work into their lives, what exactly are they looking for, so that we can determine how to best get them started. So making that simple ask. If it's someone that, let's say we're on social media, that's the way to best market our business these days, especially with all of us being safe and keeping our social distancing going. I would simply, I have no problems rolling up in the DMs and complimenting them and just being curious. You know, curiosity will lead you to great places in this business, and learning about the individual. And in that learning, you will see whether or not this is an opportunity that can work for them. So ask questions and lead with the belief that you are offering them a gift and not a burden.
Spot on.
That's fantastic advice. We had another question in the chat. How do you get men on your team?
That's a good one. So I personally have never recruited a counterman, but I have helped others recruit countermen. And the process reminded me to when I first started actively recruiting members of the BIPOC community into the Beautycounter community. And the number one concern that you often get from men is whether or not there's space for them here, because we are dominantly, but our consultant community is made up by mostly women. So during those recruiting conversations, I have to assure them that there is definitely a place for them and how desperately we need them, because it is with trailblazers and trendsetters like them being the first, that's what's going to help us solve for creating more representation that I know they're looking for when they are considering that opportunity. So I just focus on how they can be a part of the solution to help this become a space where more and more men can feel comfortable joining.
Absolutely. And we've started a Facebook community for our countermen because we want them talking together. We want them sharing with us what they need in order to be successful. And we've actually had a few of our countermen promote to, director, and that's what we want to see. And we're hoping that it just, it takes off, because we do, we have room for everybody, for sure.
I find that has helped too. So when consultants share their prospects information, and we're going through that initial recruiting conversation or onboarding conversation, I often try to link them up with others in the community so that they can start building that sense of community right off bat, and that tends to help. So if you're looking to recruit a counterman, it will help to maybe find others in the community that you could perhaps have them join a call for a quick second. And that's another thing that I love about our community of consultants, is that we're so collaborative, and it doesn't matter if someone is in your upline, your sidelines, like we just all work together. We have the common goal of getting safer products into the hands of everyone. And if we can help each other in any way to make sure that happens, we get it done. So lean on your community to help with that.
Bravo.
That's awesome advice. We actually have a counterman hosting with Gina next week, so that'll be something we'll want them to tune into.
Invite them to that counter call.
Absolutely.
One question we just got from someone who loves educating others about clean beauty, but isn't comfortable leading others. Do you have any advice?
So believe it or not, we're always leading. Mm-hmm. Whether we think we are or we're not, we're always leading. And and sometimes, because I went through this as well, as my team was growing, I became very insecure with the thought of leading other people. And what I found worked best was leading by example. So if you are comfortable educating others, continue doing that. Your team members will follow suit. And before you know it, you'll wake up and you'll end up with a team of over 500, just in leading by example. So let that passion, let this mission drive you. Do what you know best. Lean on others in the community to help you develop. I know that Beautycounter has great training around leadership. Do your best to tap into those resources. Read books. I know for me, I recognize that as a weak link in my package of what I had to offer. And so I started reading books by John Maxwell and listening to podcasts that helped me in developing that leadership muscle that I felt like I needed to develop in that moment. So there's hope. Don't give up on yourself. And just because you don't feel as strong at it right now does not mean that it's not something you can develop in the future. Just be intentional about it.
For sure.
Thank you. Such great advice. We have just one more question. So now that you have reached managing director, what are some of your future goals with Beautycounter?
So I mentioned one of them. Within my team, we have the motto that together we rise. And I also think about a quote by our current vice president nominee, Kamala Harris, where she talked about her mom saying, the tragedy in being the last to do something. And that's something that I hold very near to my heart. And so my goal is to help and elevate more people in leadership within the Beautycounter community. I have a goal to develop at least 12 managing directors from my organization. I would love to consistently have an average personal sales volume of $5,000. That is my next current goal. And I want to also continue in recruiting at least 2 team members per month.
Boy, can we get a bumper sticker? Do they still do those? I'm so old. I love that because for people that maybe don't know what we do is when you get to this level that Linda's at, it's tempting and it's sometimes easy to sit back because you have this whole big team. But when you are passionate and you love this business and you are driven like you are in all the best possible ways, that's just so those continual personal sales, personal recruiting is what will you'll get your 12 for sure. So
I mean, one of the great advantages of working for yourself is that you don't have any limits. So why set the limit to just reach managing director? There's more. There's a lot more where that came from. So I'm not going to settle to stop here. I got to keep going.
That's right. Help us keep on growing, keep on evolving. And we're so grateful. We're so grateful you said yes. We're so grateful that you did not skip out on Sharita's pop-up.
Sharita, if you're on the call, thank you. Thank you. Forever grateful.
That's what I always say to Greg too. Thank you for changing my life, for really putting me on a different course. And that's one of the other beautiful things about this business is, you never know. Give it a try. Jump in. The worst thing that can happen is you're going to meet some really incredible people. Mm-hmm. You're going to get safer products into your home. You're going to learn some things that are going to make you a better advocate for yourself and the people you care about. And we guarantee you'll have fun doing it. So with that, I just want to thank you again so much. Linda.
Thank you for having me.
You got it. Appreciate you so much. So happy for all of your success and all to come. And for everybody listening, if you are interested, talk to the person who invited you to this call, check it out, and jump in. It is the best time to be a part of our amazing growing company. So thank you all. All right. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.